Hey, what's up everyone? As I stated in my previous video that I would bring you up-to-date news regarding the current developing situation involving the Korean peace treaties and the peace talks and denuclearization and all of that. You can check out my previous video to see what I had to say about that and as the news was breaking. So there are various news sources that are speaking about this, and I will also be talking about what Russia had to say a moment ago. This is historic. If this is legit, if it's legitimate, it is very historic, and we will have to see. As you can probably see in the top corner of in the top hand part of my screen, I've just been bombarded with news from Twitter, CBS News, just various news sources regarding this historic occurrence. The latest was from my breaking news app right here. You can see right there, it is the third notification down. Russia's foreign ministry says that it's ready to facilitate practical cooperation between North and South Korea in railways, gas, and electrical energy. So that is a big deal because they weren't in trade negotiations recently. They've had a few sanctions put on them. They've actually been kind of all but starved out, really, and understandably so by various countries, including the United States, who actually pushed that along because here in the United States, the president has really been trying to make a point with them that there is no need for those kinds of actions. And maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, but it seems like it might have. So we'll have to see. So now Russia is agreeing to continue trade as far as electric, gas, and railways and things of that nature with North Korea. So now they're going to move some buildings and businesses from North Korea to South Korea and from South Korea to North Korea, so they're going to do business with each other, and it's just developing right now, so we'll have to see. Now, Korean leaders plan to end this war with complete denuclearization, and it was very unexpected to see Kim Jong-un state this, but I mean, it is true, like an individual told me previously, that it's very true that North Korea was practically going to destroy themselves and their own land, and the rest of this world was really just like, hey, if you don't stop, then we're either going to stop you or you're going to destroy yourself, one or the other. And so it would have been, they would have just been destroyed by their own nuclear tests and their own negative actions. So the wives of the two leaders met, basically, and the two leaders met. Several meetings have taken place already. It was live online earlier. The leaders of North and South Korea, they pledged to jointly eliminate the risk of war and work together to achieve complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. As of 1 hour ago, that was signed, basically, this joint statement from border to this truce that's taking place. They right there on the border, they spoke about it. They did this live, online, and on their local television. For the first time in more than 60 years, they've ever had anything to do with each other. This is historic. So the meeting of the North Korean leaders was the first in more than 10 years for there to actually be any sort of a meeting. But it's the first in decades for there to actually be any process of even possibly talks of any kind of peace between the two. They said that Kim Jong-un is seemingly seeking to establish permanent and solid peace on the peninsula. The two Koreas promised to ease military tensions as well and work together to achieve a peace regime, and work toward a nuclear-free region. So it is very strange to hear of them wanting to remove all of their weapons. That is very... I don't know if they'll remove all of their weapons or just the nuclear facilities and weapons. They also pledged to improve their inter-Korean relations and work toward co-prosperity and achieve a future unification. The warm declarations are taking the world by surprise, considering relations between the two states have been hostile since the Korean War that began in 1950 and saw well over 1 million people killed. North and South, I'm going to turn off the notifications, I apologize for that. So, the highly anticipated summit, which follows decades of missile tests and threats from North Korea, precedes a meeting between Kim Jong-un and President Donald Trump of the United States, expected to take place in May or June, during which more of these details may be fleshed out. So, the meeting is either going to take place in May or June. There was also some news that Israeli leaders, they're embracing the United States' decision to open an embassy in Jerusalem in May. They were wanting to, it's kind of interesting that they want to do this on the founding of Jerusalem on May 14th. 70 years. That's another thing regarding some peace that President Donald Trump of the United States wants to move the embassy from Tel Aviv and try to reclaim the capital of Israel being, I believe, from what they stated, to be Jerusalem again, and moving the embassy, at least try to move the embassy on May 14th of this year, 2018, which is exactly 70 years from the founding of the nation of Israel. So that's another interesting thing. So I'll probably make a separate video of that. So that's also taking place in May. So if that couples with his meeting with Kim Jong-un in May, that's kind of interesting how that particular piece and that meeting at the same time take place in May. Now, if they decide to do it in June, that would probably be more likely, considering so many historical and important things taking place at the same time. He might wind up doing Kim Jong-un's meeting in June, but we'll have to see. It might be in May. If it is, then we'll see. I'll give updates. So the details may be continued then, which this will be the first meeting between a sitting U.S. president and a North Korean leader in history. So this is going to be the first meeting that a United States president has ever met with a North Korean leader. So this is historic. This is definitely historic, regardless. So it's a big deal. So I'm just going to keep giving you the news as I receive it. Also, regarding Russia and the EU, the European Union, they planned on bringing Syria. They want to bring Syria to peace talks. So there is, this was from the 25th of this month. The European Union told Russia and Iran that they want to bring Syria to their peace talks. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. This is not regarding North Korea, but interesting how it's all kind of happening at the same time there. The pressure, and let's see, the EU on Wednesday urged Russia and Iran to pressure Damascus to engage in talks to end Syria's bloody civil war. So that's kind of interesting how that's happening at the same time, as international donors pledged billions of dollars to help civilians caught up in the conflict. So this has been going on there for many years now. More than 80 countries, aid groups, and the United Nations agencies are meeting in Brussels for the second day of a conference on the future of Syria after the UN's special envoy of a looming humanitarian catastrophe in the rebel-held region. So, and that horrible terrorist group, I'm not stating the name of that group, they're beyond, I'm not even stating their name, but you know who they are, that originated in Syria. They have been being bombed. Basically, they were bombing the crap out of them, from what I was hearing. So both Russia and Syria and the United States as well, bombing the heck out of them. So that's a good thing as well, removing them. But it's just weird to see them kind of working together in North and South Korea. But this is what's taking place. I'm going to give you the latest news on that, but they want to bring Syria to the peace talks in the EU. The European Union told Russia and Iran they want to bring Syria in there. So we'll see what happens regarding that. Now, back to Korea. The peace talks happening right now in Korea. This is the first time that that's happened, so it's a very big deal. Now they're also stating that fracking may have caused the South Korean earthquake. So it was tied to their geothermal plant. Just got that news there. Anyway, so I'll bring you the latest news as it progresses regarding Korea. So much love, and thanks for watching. Peace. And get it, peace, I guess. Peace. Peace talks and peace. So I said that in my last video, and then I realized how funny it was to hear peace after talking about peace. So anyway, much love, and hope to speak with you all again very soon. I'll bring you the latest news as I receive it. So that's all for now. Bye. Or peace, I should say.